One more thing. Anthony Davis reportedly sustained ligament damage in his left hand. This is the worst option of all the options we could have gone through. Changes so much for the Dallas Mavericks. Again.
I'm not a doctor, so.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
I don't know.
Satnam change.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Fired up.
I'm not fired up, Dirk. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 5 to 6:30 Eastern Time, Central Time. It's the one more thing, a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. If you missed the episode of Slightly and I breaking down the Mavs game against the Jazz, go listen to that one. If you missed the episode with me breaking down the options for Anthony Davis' injury, don't listen to that one because we now know Anthony Davis has sustained ligament damage. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years, right alongside me, the prediction prince, the one more thing king. I know what you got for me, Isaac Harris.
Do you want me to start now or do you want me to wait on it?
You go in.
You just want me to go now? Okay.
Go.
One, I want to say this. Give me 20 seconds off the very top to say, I hate this for Anthony Davis, the person, the player. It's
Agreed.
super unlucky. He has done everything he could possibly do right since he came to Dallas. The Luka shadow is never his fault. Nico's stupid. And the trade, it was just unfair for him. And I hate that for him. All right. Hate it for him.
Looks like he was in a lot of pain too. And
yes. And even last night, hate that he had another injury and everything. All right. Turn that page real quick. This is why you trade him as soon as he came back from being injured. And I say here on this podcast, and I would love to do victory laps on like prospects or trades or stuff like that. But this is the worst kind of victory lap. And I know it's so unprofessional to do because so many people like to talk to these smaller parts of the audience and everything. But I said on this podcast and said, you got to trade him right now. It doesn't matter if it's pennies on the dollars, it's expiring contracts, it's whatever you think is the bad value for AD, no matter what is offered, you got to just take it and be done with it. He has played in a third of the games, all right? A third of the games. He's played in 29 out of 70 games. And if he doesn't play another game this year, he will play in 20 out of the 82 games. He makes $54 million, a guaranteed contract for the year after this, and then a player option for over $60 million a year after that, newsflash, he's probably going to pick up. So not only do you keep him and you play with fire, and I had so many people in the comments below, which, hey, shout out, come back, take your lap. If you've been in the camp of, hey, we should just keep Anthony Davis, he's too good of a player when he plays, or, hey, you know what? If you're not going to get very good value off of him, you might as well just keep him. Well, have fun watching him in street clothes for the next 3 months and paying him $54 million. So if you've been in that camp, stand up, take a lap, and wave at everybody and say, hey, that was me. That was me. And if you've been in the comments every single day, calling, even some of them are crazy, going the racist route of hey, y'all didn't say this about Luka. And it's now you want AD gone for this, all this. And it's no, it's because of this injury history. It is because of this. And we're not even talking about the Luka return. It is insane that I think there is so much blame I think you should throw on the Mavericks right now too, that if you fire Nico Harrison, the moment you fire Nico Harrison, the vision is gone. So the moment you fire Nico, you're turning that page. So either bring in somebody that knows what they're doing right off the bat, or empower the people and say, hey, we got to turn this page now. Because why else are you firing Nico Harrison? Because you don't want to hear boos and chants in your own freaking stadium? That's it? That's the only reason you're firing him? You're firing him because you don't believe in what is going in his direction and vision for the future. So it's just come on. You played with fire, now you keep him, and now there's this injury. You're probably not going to be able to trade him now. Now you're going to go into the offseason, and whatever value you thought he might have, which wasn't a ton, now it's like, now you got to try to convince teams like, oh, well, okay, we know we've had the hand injury and the ligament stuff. Hey, don't think about the 13 groin injuries or anything else that's happened on his legs or all the stuff. Like, he's just getting older. He's making more money. His agency and Rich wants a new contract. So now you get to go into the draft, and hopefully somebody might take him off your hands. And then, then if not, then if you get past the draft, now you're in the summer, and it's like, so now you're going to keep it. Even if Rich says, you know what, we get it. We can't get an extension that we want. We'll just going to play this next year. Oh, really? So then are you still comfortable at that point, even with no extension, and they say they don't want an extension? You're still comfortable going into next season, making, what'd you say earlier, $58 million next year? Cool. And you know how many games he's played in a row for Dallas? 5. He's been here almost a calendar year, and he's yet to play over 6 games in Dallas. I've been tracking this ever since he's came to Dallas, and he just played his 4th game in a row, and he got hurt. Just doing a sidestep, like, in a freak injury, his hands, like, rubbing him against Larry Markkinen. Get out of here. Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. They should have already traded him, even if it was just for expiring contracts. And if you want to sit here and say, oh, it's so stupid you're taking victory lap, I'll take the freaking victory lap. I don't care. Like, you should have already traded him. Sorry. It's so frustrating because we've said on this pod for weeks saying one of the worst things that could happen the moment he came back, and they're playing him and they're like, hey, he has a limit of 36 minutes. I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, what was that all about?
And it's like, and you keep him, and it's like, and that's why I was like a dead horse, and people were like, oh, why are you talking about trading Anthony Davis again? Because I don't want this to happen. Like,
I have one problem with what you just said.
Yeah, please.
It's beating a dead horse. It's not that you were a dead horse.
I don't even freaking care. I don't care about anything right now.
And I have a second thing to say.
Apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
This is the thing with Anthony Davis. It's been the whole time. It's been a theoretical player. It's been a theoretical vision. It's been we banned the word vision from this show, but we've now opened the floodgates of it. It's back. It's been a theoretical vision. It's been if only healthy. It's the same thing with what happened with the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George. It just was never going to happen at the same time. Same thing that happened with Paul George, Joel Embiid, and everything over in the Sixers. And then now they just aged out of their vision over there. This was never going to work because they were never going to be healthy at the same time. Anthony Davis comes back. All right, now we just got to wait for Kyrie to come back. False. You are waiting now for Anthony Davis to be injured again because it just keeps happening. And I did this show yesterday talking about, all right, well, here are the different options for him. It could be nothing. He could have just had a fracture or dislocation. He's out for like a month or so. Ligament damage, the worst one. Like literally the one that causes him to have surgery, and it's going to be out for the rest of the year, most likely. Be out for months. There's only 3 months left in the season. There's not enough time for him to have surgery, come back, and blah, blah, blah. There's less than a month to the trade deadline. And so Mark Stein just said this injury all but wipes out AD's February 5 trade market and makes it challenging, to say the least, to create a summer market at all. So now we're talking about, well, if they want to trade him in the summer, now this may take that off the table too. At least he'd only have 1 year and then the player option after that. So at least it's less money overall. So like the ticking of this, clock goes down a little bit in the summer. But Stein says this: Dallas's course is now, thrust upon them right now. Get AD to the other side of this injury hell, and just move on. That's it. Like, just move on. Like, he's now being paid by the Dallas Mavericks to rehab. He's had 5 major injuries since he's been with the Dallas Mavericks. It's been a year. Adductor, retina injury, calf. He also had a groin and now hand. It's like, it is insane that the bad
just random parts too. Like,
yeah, they're not all connected, and they're not all freak accidents. Some of them are, some of them are not. One of them, the eye injury, he was hit in the face by Gafford. This one, he was defending a baseline drive, like one of the most normal plays. The adductor he already had when he came to Dallas, and then re-aggravated it. And just like the worst possible things that could have happened. If you believe in karma or basketball gods, like this is confirming a little bit.
Shout out Nico. Someone get Nico in front of a mic right now.
Yeah, how about all the times where people are like, you think Nico's having a victory lap because of the Luka injuries right now? It's like, no, I don't think so. This is different.
Yeah. Nico, come on the pod. Let's talk about your vision.
coming up, let's talk about what this means for the Mavericks going forward. One of the things we were really concerned about is Rich Paul and Clutch putting a lot of pressure on the Dallas Mavericks, making it uncomfortable for them this summer to give Anthony Davis an extension. I think this changes that. We'll tell you why coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays already feel different during basketball season. FanDuel is making them even better on a Friday night. If you're listening to this by, maybe by the time this happens, you get NBA Happy Hour. Happens 5 to 6:30 p.m. Central Time. You can do all kinds of stuff with NBA Happy Hour. You can go and check out. Right now there's a tab called Raining Buckets. Each team scores 20 points in each quarter. That's plus. No way. That's plus 100,000 or plus 10,000. Hold on, real quick. Check, wager, some money on that one. All kinds of stuff you can do on FanDuel and see what you can do on that. So before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 5 to 6:30 Central Time. Little basketball, little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour. It's only on FanDuel. Download the app. Official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Also brought to you by BetterHelp. Fitting. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. As we roll into the new year, there's a lot of pressure to chase the new you, turn over a new leaf, change old habits, things that you used to be known for, you want to change in 2026. For some people, that did not happen. One of them may play for the Dallas Mavericks. But sometimes it's not about reinventing yourself. It's about feeling a little less weighed down, a little less of the pressure to perform, a little less of the pressure that you put on yourself. That's the thing I struggle with. That's why BetterHelp can be such a helpful place to start. Their therapists are fully licensed in the U.S. and work under a strict code of conduct, so you know that you're going to get somebody that you can trust. And if you don't find somebody right away that you think that you can mesh with or vibe with, you can change at any time. That's pretty awesome with BetterHelp. If the match isn't right, you can switch to therapist anytime for their tailored recommendations at any point. BetterHelp has served over 5 million people with more than 30,000 therapists, and live sessions average 4.9 out of 5-star rating across more than 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA. BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Oh, so one more thing. Bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. Emergency episode, some would say. Subscribe to the text line. We'll give you alerts and rumors right to your phone, and we'll give you our thoughts. You get access to the Discord, and the Discord is popping right now with the Casey Smith Memorial Hospital channel that we created in there.
Well, we just had a ribbon cutting ceremony. I know not everybody got invited to it. It's invite only. There was a renaming of the east wing of the hospital to the Anthony Davis rehab facility, and there was a lot of donations and stuff that came in for the renaming of that. But the ribbon cutting was earlier today.
We have the Kristaps Porzingis rhythm rehabilitation section. We have the Luka Doncic calf section. So let us know what.
Wait, is that the cafeteria or
the Luka Doncic calf-ateria?
Okay.
Calf strain-ateria.
Calf strain. Oh.
That's amazing. So let us know what other wings we should call. Oh my gosh. This is literally the worst possible option that could have happened is he comes back and sustains an injury. Honestly, sustains an injury that it's like right on the verge of being out for the season because he's probably going to be out for the season. But there also is a scenario where he comes back for the last couple of games of April.
No, he ain't coming back. We're talking about ripple effects.
But here's the other thing. They're not going to see the vision of seeing Kyrie, AD, and Flagg all play together. And that may never happen now.
I never bought for 1 second that Dumont wants to see those three together. I don't care what.
I did think that was. I think that
I don't believe it.
I think that was a tactic, like we want to see it. We want to see it, trying to show other teams that they're not desperate to trade Anthony Davis, right? That's what I took it as.
Why would Dumont want to see that together? Just think about it. I've heard this on national things ownership wants to see those three together. Why?
Who was pitched on the vision first?
Nico from Rob.
Yeah, Rob to Nico, then Nico to Dumont. Dumont was the first one to hear the vision, and he was the only other one to sign off on it. So, if anybody is going to be all right, well, it's kind of my butt on the line too here with this whole vision thing. At least
no one's putting his butt on the line. No one can fire him. So that's been my whole thing the whole time.
They put pressure. That happened with Nico Harrison. They put pressure on him.
There's a difference between pressuring someone to get fired and pressure someone to sell a team.
For
like,
sure.
when has that worked?
Like, yeah, has anybody been pressured to sell a team?
Yeah, to
Has
sell
anybody
a
been
team
bullied to sell a team?
for billions of dollars. So, and I never fully bought that. I thought it was a negotiation tactic.
Same.
Because once again, it's like, oh, okay, the ownership wants to, they're still holding out. They want to see the vision of these three together, the vision of the person that they fired earlier this year. And it's like, I understood that if they kept Nico and saying, hey, we're keeping Nico right now because we want to see this vision. We want to see what we traded Luka for. We want to see it in action. But you fired Nico. The moment you fired Nico, this vision is in the Trinity River.
Well, so it just fell on the ground.
What did Sham say?
ESPN posted their article about this. And the very last sentence of the article says, I guess it's not the last sentence. I don't know how this app works. If Davis and the Mavs choose a Freudian slip, if the Mavs choose a non-surgical route, he's expected to miss at least 6 weeks. That is the dumbest option of all these options. Is he misses 6 weeks?
If it means he gets traded, then sure.
No, but will he get traded? The trade deadline is 4 weeks.
Yeah, but if he's going to come back in 2 weeks after that. Let's just be fully honest here.
So you get to the trade deadline and you're like, well, he's gonna come back in 2 weeks, guys. Let's do it, Hawks, or let's do it, Warriors.
But realistically, I don't think the Hawks have to add too much in money. Like, I know this is like super low value for a lot of you. You can yell at me, but KP's barely playing. Kennard plays, but like I think they only have to add like a few million after that, and you just do that swap right there. And like, if you're in Atlanta, you wouldn't take the rest of the year, 2 more weeks of AD being out to swap him with Kennard and KP. This is desperate times in a pod like this, but
I mean, that's where we are right now.
I'm just saying, if it wasn't that, God, I'm so mad right now.
You got to add 13 more million to that, by the way.
I don't know about 13 because I think they can take more money back. Yes.
You got to add 12. You got to add about 12 million to that trade to make it to make it work, I think.
Thank you, baby.
And so that's the Kongwu contract is 15. Kispert can't be added into it now. You could do CJ McCollum to it and then take.
No, they can't
Kennard
aggregate
out.
CJ.
Well, that's true. They can't do that either. So yeah, I mean, there's limited options, but honestly, to me, I think this takes a trade off. It just takes a trade off the board for the whole season. Like, I think you and I, unless there's more news that comes out of like, here's another team interested in AD. Like, I think we stop talking about a trade because I just think it's not going to happen.
If he has surgery, he's off the table for everybody. I think if it is something that's like, oh, he's going to come back in 6 weeks and they'll think about it in the summer or something like that, I think it opens a slim possibility.
Well, if it's the 6 weeks, but then if you're a team, like if you're any other team, you look at this and go adductor, retina, calf, groin, hand, like that's all in the last 365 days.
Yeah, Mavs were waiting it out. Mavs didn't care about it. Maybe you can find another team that does. 2 ripple effects from this. The Mavs got to find another option to get under the luxury tax now. So they got to ditch some contracts somehow in this before the summer.
Yeah, I was gonna say ripple effects. You're gonna be close to a second apron team next year, and you're gonna have to figure out a way to dump some guys. So yeah,
so that was another thing of the with the AD stuff. Like, you made the AD trade, then you kind of don't have to like mess with, like, if you want to, no matter what kind of pieces you want to keep for next year when you want to win again, because you don't have rights to your pick and all that stuff next year. Now you got to go into it because you're going to suck. You have one of the highest payrolls in the league, and you at least want to get, like, they're right up against the first apron. They're capped at the first apron, but like everything that I've heard of is like they want to get under the luxury tax. They don't want to be a tax team, a repeater tax team, going in, next, or this, gosh, it's this year, we're 2026. So they like, now they have to figure out a way to do that because AD is off the table. A more positive, the only positive thing from this is, I mean, AD being on the floor has meant win. I mean, does help the Mavs win. And
it's gross when
he has played, when he's been on the floor. So, I mean, this does help you lose games to increase your draft stock and your odds and all of that. So if he's not going to be there for the next few months or the rest of the year, then we already seen the Kyrie news of not until which Kyrie news. I think if I'm just going to say this, if the Mavs were in a better position, I think that news would be a little different.
So the news was that McMahon reported yesterday that Kyrie Irving is not expected to come back before the trade deadline, which is
and possibly maybe not the rest of the year.
Possibly not come back at all. Which now that another ripple effect, like you just said, that puts that on the table now. Is that I don't know if Kyrie Irving plays the rest of the season.
Yeah, so this makes it easier for you to go after your draft odds. That's the only positive I think you can read from this.
If you were a Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis don't play well together, truther, this helps you there. Now Flagg plays the 4.
If you're Cisse, this helps you.
Yeah, if you're
lose a Cisse,
dust off the rest of your two-way games because if you're Dwight Powell, you get a chance to show what you got still
before his retirement. Just kidding.
All these changes, and I still got my dog Dwight Powell. I still got.
I'm sorry, Dennis. I can't laugh right now. God, it's frustrating.
It is because this is the worst scenario of all of them. So he comes back, he gets hurt again.
Yeah, because and once again, it's not like we're holding out hope to trade Anthony Davis in the next few weeks to get some all-star player or to get the Pelicans pick. Like we weren't expecting that. It's not like the hand injury now we're not getting the Pelicans pick. Like it's not like that. Like now we're not getting Darren Peterson. It's like it's not that. It is more of what does the flexibility look like for this team. I think we've been down this path, whether you've wanted to accept it or not, as far as the listener of like, they're not winning a ton of games. Like they're going to go for the draft pick in a organic way. Like, they're not setting Cooper Flagg for 3 weeks at a time or something like that. Like they're not a playoff team. They're not a play-in team.
They're 4-14 without AD. They're just a bad team without.
Yeah. So like they're headed down that path anyway. It is more about going into the summer and even this deadline of like, all right, you could look at the roster and be like, you know what? If we want to keep Naji Marshall going into next year, we can keep him because we want to be good next year. And like, we have no incentive to tank. Now you're looking at the roster and be like, dang, like we don't want to be a repeater tax team, which has, some restriction, it has some consequences and stuff in that. And it's like, now you're looking at it, it's like, all right, we have to shed some money because we can't shed AD now. And you're like committed to this money going into next summer that once again, even if Rich and AD goes to the Mavs and says, hey, we get it. Like we know we're not going to be able to get an extension. So we're fine just going into next season and playing out that last guaranteed deal. And it's like, cool. Like even if there's no extension on the table, I'm not happy going into next training camp with AD at $58 million. Yeah. And I just don't want to be in that business. Like turn this over to Cooper and them. And yeah.
Does this at least change the concept that we were talking about? Like, hey, if you gotta get a trade because Rich Paul and Clutch and Anthony Davis's camp will try and make this really uncomfortable for you to try and force you to make a trade or do something in the offseason, change the leverage. I think this does change that calculus a little bit. It changes a little bit of like they don't have as much leverage because now you have to prove to the Mavericks and the rest of the league that he can actually play to be able to be worth some kind of extension. Yeah.
I don't know what's their leverage. I think if I'm Dallas, I'm like, go find it.
It's like scoreboard, but they just keep pointing to games played. It's like scoreboard. You're playing a team and they're talking about you. Like scoreboard. Games played.
I mean, realistically, I think if you're Dallas, and Rich Paul and them want to pull anything like that, you're like, hey, go find it. Like,
yeah, if he's like,
we're open.
Out. Like, all right, you didn't play last year.
You have full permission to go to 29 other teams and to see if they're willing to trade or give an extent. Like, go for it, find it. And I think if you're Dallas, are you willing to play this type of game moving forward with the Anthony Davis business? Or like, if let's say he doesn't play again for the rest of the year, and then you can't find anything at the draft, then you're going into the offseason saying, would I rather go into training camp with playing this game, or would I rather look at another type of contract around ADs that I would rather swap it out for? And even if it's a big contract. And that's the sucky last part of this equation of, let's say Golden State just ultimately, just flames out, does nothing. And then they go into next summer and they're like, all right, we know it didn't work with Jimmy, but heck, might as well. Like, AD, come on over. Jimmy, go to Dallas. Like, it's that type of thing now that you're looking at over the summer, probably, if it's a surgery and everything.
Yeah, if you could do anything. Here's another thing, ripple effect. The Luka trade is now the worst trade of all time.
Now? Now.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
Now after all this is gonna be, if Anthony Davis doesn't play the rest of the season, this is the lowest amount of games he's ever played in an NBA season.
Okay. Big time.
Dallas has the third highest strength of schedule for the rest of the year.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, like a good thing for the tank. It's a bad thing if you want to be good. Sacramento has a low one. Clippers have the 27th. They have the lowest one, so they'll probably jump up.
I do think
19th. That's low.
I do think all eyes. I mean, not that this changes a ton, but I do think there was a world in which AD gets traded and then the Mavs don't do a ton else, depending on like the type of contracts they get back and stuff. I do think this puts all eyes on the rest of the role guys for Dallas, because now they almost have to make it. They almost have to dump, a player or two. Yeah, and so I think
they got to do one now or at the draft or free agency. They got to do something.
Yeah, but I think some of their guys will have value, and it's going to suck. But, you're looking at like a Daniel Gafford, a guy that I'm scared about because I love him being on this team, is Naji Marshall. I think he probably has maybe the most value of any of the role players. But like, Gafford, Naji, you look at a guy like Klay. I don't think anybody would take, Martin's contract, but you're looking at a couple of those guys that it's like, it would shock me at this point if we don't see one or two of those guys gone before the deadline.
Yeah, sold off basically.
Yeah, I mean, they're for sure tanking now. I mean, so it's just like, what's kind of the point at that point if you can get if a team comes in, I mean, this is something that Mavs fans can argue about, but if a team comes in, a contending team, let's say has a pick in the 20s, and they're like, hey, we'll give you our pick in the 20s for Naji. Like, are you saying no? And
first round pick?
Yeah, like a pick in the 20s.
Yeah, no, I'll take that.
I know. I just think Naji's that good of a player, especially for like a contending team. And if you have a team that, you think of some of these teams that are right there in the top 6 of either conference that can make a simple trade like that, with like an expiring contract and like their pick in the 20s. I just don't. I mean, Naji's became their like point of attack defender. So now it's like and it would suck. Once again, it would suck. But I think that's the type of decisions that Dallas is thrown into now. What else? What else have you seen?
Nothing.
Just people mad.
Yeah, Stein said if we had a time machine and go back and undo a trade that never ever should have been done, but that can't happen. Yeah, yep.
Yep. Mark, we've tried to do that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Contacted the Avengers, tried to figure out how to get that time machine back up.
The problem
going.
is we instead of going through time, we sent time through AD, and it got older, and now he's gotten more injured.
And I don't want to hear anything about how bad Luka's defense is. All right, at least he's playing.
I'd take him at 270.
It's like, I don't want to hear anything about that. Like, it's the worst trade possible. And
for your next listen, go listen to Locked On NBA Draft with No Ceilings because they will be our.
I love this draft, guys. Like,
they will be our best friends for the rest of the season and then going into the draft. We'll have probably there's 6 of them. We'll have all of them on at some point.
Yeah, I was watching some Dumont's stuff the other night, and his latest game, and he had this play through the lane. That's just his athleticism. No, he had this play to where it was like a pro hop, but into like a Euro step in a way. But it wasn't like it's just his type of athleticism. It's just insane. So
I saw the one in the other day in the half court where he takes the ball from the 3-point line and windmill dunks, like not even a transition, like full speed, just like from the 3-point line, 2 steps into a windmill dunk. You're like, oh
yeah, his shot too. Like he's been my number one. He'll stay at number one for me for a while. Yeah.
If the basketball gods owe anybody anything,
I mean, if they did anything to help out this,
it happened to the Spurs twice.
It's like, listen, you gave us Cooper because you felt bad for us. Feel bad for us again.
Continue to feel bad. Don't ever not feel bad. And Cooper Flagg is him, so they at least have the block to build around a player going forward. Like that's the hope, and that's what we'll focus on for the rest of time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. We'll have more for you all throughout the week and the weekend. We'll keep doing post-game shows. We'll have more bonus. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.
Dogs. All of us. All 5.